Based on archaeological evidence, copper is one of the earliest known metals. For example, a bead made of copper was discovered in the northern part of Iraq, and this copper bead was found to have existed as far back as 9000 BC. In this lesson, we will discuss the occurrence of copper and its method of extraction. Unlike some metals like calcium and aluminium, which can only be found in their combined states, copper can be found naturally in its free metallic state. This is because of its relatively low reactivity when compared to other metallic elements. In addition to occurring naturally in its free state, copper can also be found in its combined state, in some ores or minerals such as chalcopyrite, cuprite, and chalcocite. Now let's discuss the extraction of copper from its ore. The main ore used for the extraction of copper is chalcopyrite, which is also known as copper pyrite. As explained in our lesson on metal extraction, ores of metals are concentrated before the metal extraction process commences. So before copper is extracted, the copper pyrite is crushed and concentrated using the froth flotation method. You can learn more about froth flotation and other methods of ore concentration in the lesson mentioned earlier. Once the copper ore is concentrated, it is passed into a reverberatory furnace. In the furnace, the ore is roasted in a supply of air to oxidize the iron and sulfur present in the ore to iron 2 oxide and sulfur 4 oxide respectively. However, not all the sulfur present in the ore is oxidized. As shown in the chemical equation here, some of the sulfur is still trapped with copper in the form of copper 1 sulfide. The next stage in the extraction process is known as smelting. In this process, silicon 4 oxide in the form of sand is added and heated with the roasted ore to remove the iron 2 oxide in the roasted ore as slag. Finally, copper is set free from the remaining copper 1 sulfide by heating in air using a Bessemer furnace through a chemical reaction known as thermal reduction. During this process, a reaction which leads to the reduction of copper 1 sulfide to metallic copper occurs. Note that an electrolytic process may also be employed to further purify the copper obtained. So let's do a quick recap of what we have discussed so far to help you remember important points from this lesson. Copper has a low reactivity and can be found in its free state. Copper can also be found in its combined state in ores like chalcopyrite, cuprite, and chalcocite. Copper is extracted by thermal reduction. The processes involved in its extraction are ore concentration, roasting, and smelting. I hope you found this lesson helpful, and I'd love to see you again in the next one.